So we get a lot of questions of people asking, what's the power situation like in the RV? We get questions like, you know, when you're driving down the road, how does your refrigerator get power?
So today's episode is going to be all about power. LP, battery banks, Shorepower, and generators.
Power!
Hey, I'm Duncan.
And I'm Jessica, and we lived life like everybody else. We had a house, a car payment, a big TV, and a 9-to-5 job to pay for it all.
But one day we got rid of it all to live life on the road, and now we're leaving mainstream society and making every day different by traveling on the outskirts.
When you get to your campsite, it's time to hook up, and that's where you're going to hook up to your Shorepower. Now there's 3 different options that you could hook up to in most cases. Some have all 3 and some just have 1. We'll start with the lowest one. You've seen this before, this is what you use in your house. But this is, in most cases, just used for tent camping or small trailers. Next step up is going to be the 30 amp. And this is the most common one right now. You'll find that at most campgrounds. It'll run most of your appliances. You just have to be aware of how much amperage you're using before you trip a breaker. And then after that, there's 50 amp. And 50 amp will pretty much handle anything. And especially with RVs how they are now, you know, some got washers and dryers, some's got dishwashers. So 50 amp will pretty much cover all bases and keep you running.
Our system's the 30 amp system, and we have 2 ACs. They both draw 13 amps apiece, so that leaves us 4 amps left to run everything else on the rig. But our system has a shedding power supply. So let's say I have both ACs running, and I need to turn on the microwave. Now the shedding power supply will say, you've only got 4 and you need more than that, so I'll turn off the compressor on one of the ACs temporarily and give you some extra juice. And that way we don't keep tripping breakers every time we turn on a fan or we turn on the microwave and have both ACs running.
Now when you're boondocking, generators can be a lifesaver. I mean, no power's around, but with these things you can run your AC, you can run your microwave, you can run whatever. On a lot of these generator setups, you can start the generator from right inside. So if it's raining or something like that, you can just flip it on without having to get wet. But what I would recommend is, you know, this is an engine too, so it needs maintenance and it needs to be looked after. So before you start it, come out here and check the oil as much as you can. Make sure everything's good before you fire it up.
Our generator has a safety feature, so if we get down to 1/3 of a tank, it automatically shuts off. That's a good thing. So let's say you were boondocking all night long and the generator's running, and rather than use up all your gas, it'll just shut off, and then you have 1/3 of a tank to get to wherever your next spot is, so you're not completely out of gas and stuck in the middle of nowhere.
LP powers a lot of the appliances on your rig. It gives you hot water, it runs your refrigerator if it needs to, and it keeps you warm. Now there's a lot of different kind of bottles for all the different kind of rigs out there. You'll see 20 pound, 30 pound, 40 pound portable bottles that you can take out. But a lot of the Class C's and Class A's have built-in tanks like this.
Cooking with propane can take a little bit of getting used to. Seems like everything cooks a lot faster, and especially in the oven, your brownies will be burnt on the bottom and still raw on top. So a lot of people, they use a pizza stone. This helps distribute the heat. They also use an uncoated tile as well. You could use your own propane, or you can use the electric that you're already paying for at the campground and get a toaster oven like we have here. That way you just use the electric rather than spend up all your propane.
Propane also powers your furnace. And you know, with us being down in Florida, we really don't use it at all. You know, mostly what we use the propane for is for, you know, taking showers, making hot water, and, you know, stuff like that. So we can last for weeks, for months on one tank full of propane. So that when you start to get up in the colder environments, you start using that furnace more, and that months turns down into weeks. I mean, you're having to fill up a lot more because the furnace is the main killer of your propane. So what we do a lot when we start to get in those colder places is that we use these space heaters instead of the furnace. I mean, yeah, they don't pump out as much heat as the furnace, but all we do is we use them locally. During the day, we use them up in the living area. At night, we take them in the bedroom with us, and they run off of power, the campground's power, so we're using their money instead of ours in the propane.
We have an LP detector, and this controls all the gas to the appliances. So when it's off, there's no gas running to anything, and there's no chance of leaks. That's how we like it. Just keep it off until we absolutely need it. So let's say I want to take a shower. The main tank is always on. I just flip this switch and it beeps a lot just to tell me that the lines are filling up. And then if the gas is actually on, the gas light comes on and it runs gas to all the appliances, let's say the water heater for this example, and then I turn on the water heater itself, the pilot lights, and it takes about 6 minutes. We have a 6-gallon tank, so it takes about 6 minutes to heat up all the water, and then I can wash dishes or do the shower or whatever I need hot water for.
So that's power in your RV in a nutshell.
Keep all the questions coming, we really appreciate it, and you can see the whole article on our website.
And we'll see you next time on Traveling on the Outskirts.